Welcome to KIllco. My name is Brian. This is going to be one of the strangest streams I've done in a while, except for last Friday. That was also a weird one, where I tried to do gaming, and the game I wanted to play just was like, no, you don't get to do that. Whatever, can't fix that. Tonight, I'm trying to figure out what to talk about, because usually, when I'm about to do a stream, I have to think about what whiskey I want to drink for that stream. For this stream, I had to think about what the heck I was supposed to talk about if I'm not drinking whiskey on a WhizzkyTube channel, because you're doing a dry week. And it feels very weird. It feels very weird, I have to say. The funny thing is, I've been catching myself in little ways where it's like, oh, alcohol. The way I caught myself today was I was thinking about getting lunch somewhere. I was thinking about getting takeout. It's Sunday. Takeout sounds pretty good. I don't even remember what I was going to get. But I found myself, I scrolled down and I was like, oh, they have like alcoholic beverages you can get for takeout. I wonder what I can. Wait a minute. Good evening, John. Welcome. We're having a very strange conversation today because all of you can drink whatever you want, but I am abstaining, and it always feels a little weird. But I think I said, I don't remember what I said. I think I said last week, I have a very good reason for doing this, where I don't drink for a week. One, it's a Whiskey Tribe thing. They do it every quarter. I've done it every time since they started doing it. But most importantly, I do have family history of problems with alcohol. I think is what they called it back then. So it's good for my own sanity to just be like, all right, take a break. See how you feel. Make sure nothing's wrong. Everything working all right? You're not trying to drink it? Good. But the other kind of side effect, something I notice, I guess, when I don't drink alcohol is being a WhizzkyTube channel thing. Edward, hello. Hello. Being a WhizzkyTube channel person, guy, thing, whatever this is, you realize very quickly how whiskey is just kind of seeped into your life in every single way possible. So I can't go on, I go on Twitter, I go on Instagram, I go on Facebook, the social medias, and then I realized how I'm often bombarded with whiskey stuff constantly. And it's not that I really notice it happening until I'm not drinking it. That's like, oh gosh, this is happening all the time, and I'm not even aware of it. John, hello. I did have something in mind. I did get like stuff. I want to call it funny. I don't remember if I said last Friday. Here's the thing. I do a stream. I have no memory of what I did. I would have to go back to check. And I can't remember what I even talked about last Friday because it was so chaotic. And I was trying to get the stream to work, and it was just, I feel like that was a learning stream for me where I was like, I don't know if I can do gaming. I like doing gaming, but the game I wanted to play was just didn't want to cooperate. And it's a shooter too. So again, I don't know how many people here like watching shooter games. Or the idea initially was drink whiskey and game, but it was like, oh, I can't drink whiskey this week. But the funny thing is, as I was saying, wow, brain worky goodie. Oh, last week I got a whole bunch of donations. Like leading up to dry week, I got 2 or 3 or 4 bottle donations. In that week, they all kind of showed up at once. I was like, oh, yay. Awesome, amazing, hard to believe. Always just the way my brain works, it cannot comprehend that happening. It's like, this must be a mistake. This is not yours. This is a joke. Someone didn't mean to send anything. Apex Legends. I've heard of Apex Legends. I've been playing the Division 2 again, and I don't know why. It's just what's caught my attention. It was bad timing. It was great timing overall. I mean, I got something, and I'm not about to complain about it. It just feels weird where I can't be like, oh man, I got it. I get to try it right away. And it's no. You got to wait a week. It's a what is it called? A test in patience, I guess. But the other thing was this happened as well. I have a bunch of samples in here. Let's see, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 samples in this. Then we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 samples in this. Then we have 5 samples in this. And I have 3 other samples that came in a different bag, but that bag had something that broke in it. Thankfully, I was able to drink that. I don't remember what it was, but I was very cautious with that because I realized broken bottle, broken glass, liquids. I don't want to accidentally drink glass. That'd be for a bad time. But I believe most of these are Chattanooga. Like these are all Chattanooga whiskey. I don't know. I think on the mash and drum, I want to see the mash and drum. Did I mention I have memory issues? It's great. I don't remember what I did yesterday. But I think on mash and drum, he had Chattanooga whiskey stuff. And I started talking with a few people. Or was it Hot Butter Rolls? Could have been there too. My brain don't work. But I got in, people got in touch with me. I got in touch with people, and I got samples galore of Chattanooga. And I even got a full bottle of Chattanooga whiskey. So I certainly hope I like it. So these are all Chattanooga, I think. Kind of hard to read them, but they all say Chattanooga something. So if anything, I'm going to have plenty to drink for next sample Sunday. I don't even know what I'm going to do. I have so many of these. It's like comparison. Just try them. I don't know. What else do we have? And I think these are all Chattanooga as well. They all say chat something on them. Or at least they seem to. I can't read them all. But yeah, hand delivered, of course. Keep that in mind. And I'm fairly certain these are Chattanooga too. But I haven't actually opened them up. Because, again, I got all of these right as Dry Week began. So I want to know what you're drinking. As always, when I do my streams, I always ask anyone who's here, what you drinking? That has not changed. Because, again, this is my Dry Week. You guys can do whatever you want. It's simple. It's so easy. I have noticed this weird trend or thing that happens, and I equated it to something, and I'm not sure if this is right. You can tell me because, but it's like suddenly you're like, oh, I'm not drinking for a week, and it's almost like you're someone who's saying, oh, I'm straight edge. And I don't drink out. I don't want to pollute my body with, you get that feel, like you get that feel from other people as soon as they say I'm not drinking this week. I feel like I'm like, oh, why do I feel this? This is not the feeling I want to have for other people. God. I know it's just my brain being what it is. Very old Barton, Edward. I don't think I can do this. I forget. I know how to do this. I've done this like 20 times. More than that. Crazy neighbor. I don't think I've tried very old Barton. I'll put it on the list. That's all I can do. Wow. Chat's starting to move. I got to keep up. Ooh, rare breed. Libation exploration. Welcome. Rare breed is amazing. I want some. But more importantly, I can't really find rare breed for the price I want to pay around here. I usually would think $50 for rare breed, but one, that's usually something I buy special for myself. And two, I can't really find it for that price around here easily. I'd have to go hunting for it. And as a recluse and someone who's just terrified these days of going outside, as most of us are, haven't really been looking for it too hard. I know it's around. I could find it if I wanted to. Floridian, yes. I don't know. It's my brain doing weird things. It often feels weird. It's mostly just because it's a change. It's nothing vital. And I like to bring it up because in general, people should, self-check. That's all it is for me. I wonder if you can hear that. There's like a cage with a rabbit in it behind me on this wall in there or something. It's disturbing. Old Forester, 100, nice. Scratch down under, hello, welcome. Hot Butter Rolls, hello. My Sunday is going as best as it can. I got out of bed, so that's a good start. I actually got out of bed at noon, 11. My sleeping pattern is weird. It's very weird, actually. I'd like to say I can get out of bed easily. I cannot, because medication and just my brain in general. It's not fun. Hot butter rolls in here. It's a party. Have a drink for me, please. Please. I think that's the only time I'm thinking back to what I said earlier about when I was going to do takeout. I didn't, but that moment where I realized, oh, I could order like what was it? I remember what it was. It was like a margarita or some kind of Oreo adult Frappuccino thing, and it sounded really good. It was like an adult ice cream drink. I want to say Frappuccino, but that's the wrong word. Anyway, that was a moment in my life recently where I was just like, and it becomes one of those things where it's like, I'm so accustomed to it. I'm so used to having it at hand, and it's habitual. That's the funny part. It's so habitual for all of us, I assume, that especially for me, like once it gets dark outside, I'm thinking about what I want to have to drink. I'm thinking about what streams might be going on. Tonight, as always, it's bourbon night, and man, I'm bad at remembering things. The bourbon something? Destination bourbon. There we go. Wow, that was fun. This is what I get to drink. It's a different color than whiskey. And it's not even real. Usually I use whatchamajigger. What do I use? Butterbeer? No. Beer. Nope. Words. It's not beer. That would be bad. I'm having a dry week. There's beer in this. Ginger beer. That took a minute. Yeah, there's none of that in here. It's just ginger ale this time. Whiskey Tribe, what do they call it? The Driver. It's a mocktail. There's nothing actually in it, alcoholic-wise. Can I remember this? 2 ounces orange juice, 1 ounce lime juice, 1 ounce grenadine, top off. Actually, mix that together and then pour them both in a glass. So you pour the mixture in a glass and you pour the ginger beer in the glass at the same time. I didn't do that with this, by the way. Should have, didn't. And again, it's ginger ale, so it doesn't really matter. Ginger ale is cheaper, and I can get more of it. So I haven't had that much Jim Beam either, so I'm curious about that. Immediately. I'll take you hot butter rolls. Yeah, that algorithm. As I like to say when I do this, and I realize it's like a catchphrase or something now, the YouTube overlords demand your thumbs. Please give them to me. It's true. The YouTube overlords demand your thumbs. They demand it. Not me. It's the overlords. I don't know if I keep saying that once I get monetized, but for now, an emphasis on it if I get monetized. Reality check. But yeah. And yeah, Scotch Hunter, it's not bad. It's with the ginger beer especially, it's got that little sizz, that buzz, that bite, I guess. Like it mimics the idea of alcohol with that. I like it. But it is a bit of ingredients more than I would usually deal with. At best, I would make myself an old fashioned usually. That's my idea of a drink, a cocktail. It's like, 3 ingredients, done. Or a martini. I actually made, if you check my Instagram out, if you want, I remember what it is, KIllco77, sure. But I had a Manhattan for the first time, technically, that I made at home anyway. I don't know if I've had one out and about, but it was weird. I got the stuff you're supposed to make Manhattan with, and it was a bizarre experience. My first sip of Manhattan, the thought that came to mind, and this won't make sense. It didn't make sense to me, and I made a second martini Manhattan later, and I didn't get this. But my initial sip of it, and again, this is so bizarre. Have you ever had something that was pizza flavored? That fake pizza flavoring? That was the first thing I tasted from it. Now, maybe this was the herbal stuff that was in there, and I've never tried that kind of thing before. It was really weird. But it went away eventually. But I don't know why I had that thought, but it was like a very interesting tasting note, and I can't forget that. Of course, I'm forgetting what that stuff is that goes in a Manhattan. Someone knows what it is. Someone must be a mixed drinker person here. I'm not. Oh my God. That's probably not healthy. But you do you. I used to drink Mountain Dew all the time, and my teeth prove it with all the dental work I've had. This is when I was like a teenager. It was dumb. Scott Moody, thank you. YouTube overlords demand your thumbs. Thank you very much. That's the other thing. I couldn't find ginger beer. If I went to the grocery store that I went to today and there was ginger beer right there, there was one. It was like a local brand. It was like $1.50 for one little thing. So I was like, no. If I could get 4 or 6 of them for like $3 or $4, that'd be great, but not a thing. Ooh. I need very old Barton before I forget. Who's easily distracted? This guy. And I'm doing a stream, so this looks really rude. I apologize. I apologize in advance. Wait a minute. Funny enough, Whizzky App. Well, I'm not Whiskey able. Although I can just do it on my computer. I always forget. Blah. Very old bubba. Where'd it go? Chat moved. Very old something. Bourbon. Barton. Very old Barton. Cheech, welcome. I thought I saw you in here. I don't know how other people do this so easily. And there's like, oh, there we go. Liberty Exploration. Thank you. Vermouth. I had never had vermouth before. I made a Manhattan, and I don't know what the heck's in vermouth, but for whatever reason, I had that fake pizza flavoring thing happen to me, and it was probably one of the weirdest tasting note things I've ever experienced recently. Co-op whiskey. Hello, welcome. Oh, welcome. I actually did High West Double Rye. I didn't have any other rye that I was aware of over here, so I used High West Double Rye, and it was pretty damn good, other than the initial weird taste I got. But I don't know what kind of vermouth I got. I know I got the cheap stuff. There was actually an older gentleman who I talked to briefly when I was getting the vermouth who pointed out the more expensive stuff. He said it's amazing. And I was like, it's like $15 for that. I don't even know if I like Manhattans. Let me try the cheap stuff first. Maybe next time I go back, once I run out of this stuff, I will try it. If I can remember what it was. I can remember how much it was. So just plug that into my head instead. Old Granddad 114 is glorious. I think I've done a review of that. Again, there's a good reason I do whiskey videos. It's because I don't remember. It's like asking what you had for dinner 10 years ago. It's just, I have no idea. I don't know why that song stuck in my head. Casey at the bat. You know, I didn't even do the thing I was going to do. Hang on. I got to do this now because my brain works in mysterious ways, I like to say. And if I don't do this now, I will completely forget. And I'll wonder why. Like someone will ask about it later. Have you ever tried very old Barton? I'm like, no. What's that? I've never heard of it before. Very old Barton. Tell me things, computer. Tell me things that make sense. Tell me. I assume you mean the bottle and bond? Where'd it go? So that's what we got. Very old Barton bottle and bond. That's a nice little flask. Bottle. Words. Help me. That's some Gradin worst rye for Manhattan. I think I tried something else for the Manhattan. I don't remember what. I think I went with a higher proof something, but I feel like I might have done this. Evan Williams White label. But I really don't remember. Because this was like 4 days ago. 3 days ago. 4 days ago? Recently. 4 days ago. I'm on day 3 of dry week. Still feels weird. But the weirdest feeling, of course, is realizing how many whiskey streams I watch. Like there's one almost for every day of the week. Actually, I think there is one for every day of the week, basically. There's more than one for every day of the week. It's madness. And then I do 2. So, Friday and Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Why I picked that time? Because that was pretty much the only one open. And most importantly, it gave me a reason to drink early and also any other streams that went on later I could watch. Because believe it or not, I watch a lot of Whiskey Tube streams. That's kind of how this all started. Watching, what was it? Whiskey Vault, I think. It's a weird story. It went to Modern Rogue had Daniel on, and I saw that. Then I looked into Wizard Academy, Whiskey Vault, just as they started. So that's a weird experience. There were a lot of, this is the easiest thing to talk about, I guess. There are a lot of place markers in my life over the past 5 years that brought me to where I am today. Doing this, having conversations with whiskey folk, being part of a whiskey community, supposedly. Add to wish list before I forget to do that. Very old Barton. It's got a, I don't want to look at those profile, but I already kind of did. Go away. Didn't see anything, I promise. In case I do try it. 1792 bottle and bond store pick sounds amazing. Mr. Whiskey Shit's welcome. I didn't say that earlier. I can't remember. Whiskey Encore, I agree. I am more likely to get tongue-tied when I'm just trying to have a regular conversation while 100% sober. I think my words are a little more fluid when I have a drink in my hand. And there's a little bit more confidence, oddly enough. Wonder why. Nothing like my older days. Younger days. Older days? Younger days. Olden days. Did I mention the words? When I would get drinking and get hammered and then not remember much. That was bad. Don't do that. It's not healthy. I've done it plenty of times. I try to be. I don't know if I really am, but I try to be. There's not a lot I can do. I'm well aware of that fact. Oh, I didn't do the thing. Because I have to throw that up every once in a while. Oh, and I didn't. There's so many things I've forgotten to do lately. This is still new. And I hate doing it. I don't hate doing it. I take that back. It's, what's the word I want to use here? I don't know. I don't know what the word I want to use is. Hello, Mom. I don't know if that would be very entertaining. Today we're reviewing a glass of water from the tap compared to other glasses of water. That's something. Part of me was like, I don't even need to do a video this week. That's the easiest thing I can do, is not make a video for Wednesday. But again, I've done a dry week video before where I talk about why you could do a dry week. And I know most whiskey channels don't even, it doesn't even happen. Like, I think it's Whiskey Vault, and it's only Whiskey Vault if you're actually paying attention to their videos and you're watching them like every day, like I do. I think I'm very spoiled by that. I don't know about the rest of you if you watch Whiskey Vault stuff, but having something to watch 5 days, 6 days technically, because they do one on Saturday for Whiskey Tribe, 6 days a week for years, like 3 or 4 years now, it makes me feel a little spoiled, just a bit, because it's always about some whiskey I've never had, and sometimes it's about one where it's like they really like it, and I'm like, oh. I think that's the worst of it, is watching so many whiskey tubers saying how much they enjoy whiskey and being like, oh my gosh, it sounds so good. That's how I got all the scotches back there. I do enjoy scotch, and it's kind of how I started into whiskey, but I don't drink it as much. It's not something I go for. But as I have said before, part of that is due to cost. Bourbons these days are just a heck of a lot cheaper. However, I did get a donated bottle not long ago. Where is it? Try to touch it without looking. Where is it? Oh, I moved it. It's right here. Red Scotia 15. Glorious stuff. Oh, no. I hope that's not picking up on the mic. There's someone who lives in this hallway who has a dog who every time he leaves, the dog kind of freaks out. Makes a lot of noise. Proper hydration. Drink water, folks. Oh, and if we're when I did mention my viewer count jumped like 763 for whatever reason, that was because of one of the tests I did, the OBS test, to see if I could stream games on here, which I can. But it was because I was playing Overwatch for a little while, and that got 700 and something odd views, and I don't understand that at all. But I might have to do that again. I'd like to do that again, where I can just stream games and drink whiskey and watch how I get worse and worse at what I'm playing. Sounds good. It's not good. I actually have a lot of trouble focusing on games, especially games where you have to aim properly. I'm just like shooting randomly. Hopefully I'll hit something. But there is part of my brain that goes, why don't you focus on aiming? Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. And I start to actually hit what I'm trying to hit so far. It's kind of working a little bit. I need to look at what I have under here. There we go. I realize this makes things much easier if I do this way. Bleep. Copy, paste, do the thing. As I like to say. Whoops. Son of a bitch. I hope most of you who do streams can appreciate how chaotic it is, especially if it's just you. It's just like you're trying to read chat, you're trying to do something on the screen, you're trying to look mildly entertaining. Mildly. Call of Duty. There you go. I never got into Call of Duty. I don't know why. It is. That's much like what Bourbon Bites did, or I don't know when I got the idea. I imagine Bourbon Bites has done it plenty of times. I haven't tried to do it, but like honestly, I'm usually playing computer games for most of the day because I don't have a job, as I've said before. Not because I don't want to work. It's just, mental health is a thing. Mine is not great. Thankfully, it's a little better when I have whiskey, but oftentimes it's very difficult to function as a human being. Not so bad these days because of the medication I'm taking that seems to make things a little better. But still, the one thing I like to talk about occasionally is a nightmare to stream alone. Kind of. I mean, I can talk to myself endlessly, unfortunately, because I'm usually doing that anyway. Just now there are people watching. I'm still in my apartment. I'm still just talking to whoever's watching. There you go. I mean, that's fun, right? People like to see that. What I don't do is I don't join voice chat in any of the games I play because that could be a problem. You get the randomness of having people you don't know who are already a little tense about playing the games that they're playing. Could have a few words that get into your stream that you don't want, that are not PG, we'll say. Oh, I doubt it. The funny thing is, a friend of mine actually works in creating games. Like he's designing a game right now. If any of you are interested in that, I have to remember the dang name. What is it? Glue? It begins with G. Hold on. Glabana? Oh, no. Why do I always see an update from my graphic card when I'm doing something? Why? There we go. If you guys want to play this game, I'm promoting my friend's game that he actually made stuff on. It's called Galahad. It's on Steam. Galahad, Galahad 3093. I think they're still doing beta testing. I've only played it a few times. It can be kind of fun. It has to do with mechs. Again, I've only played it like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. And it is kind of a competitive thing. So if you're into that, give it a look. If anything, you can say you know a guy who knows a guy who built it, if you want. All right, let's do this thing because I'm supposed to do this thing because I should know better by now. I've only started doing this recently with the pinned message, and apparently I can only do that through YouTube because StreamYard doesn't like me doing anything like that. I don't think there's an option to pin anything. And there is a delay, good grief. And it makes it easier for anyone who wants to donate any money to the channel for whatever. It can be for helping the channel grow. It can be for whiskey specifically. That's usually pretty cool. I found it's easier to tell people about the liquor store nearby where I can buy stuff and they can possibly order something online. That gets a little tricky sometimes. It's an option. Or you could just donate the money through PayPal and then I can buy the bottle that you want. Using the webpage helps to find if they have it. That's the one good thing. I'm trying to think of something I saw there recently that I thought I wanted. I don't remember what. Oh yeah, Maker's Mark stuff. People have been talking about Maker's 46 a number of times, and I haven't tried it yet. And I already know I like Maker's Mark. I already know I like Maker's cast strength. I like the what's it called? The Maker's Select that they actually did there. That was good. But what I do have is the Elijah Craig. Speaking of co-op. Speaking of whiskey. Holla there. Hold on. If I can find it. Without hurting myself. But ow. There we go. I haven't tried it yet. I have to do a review. If you can read, can you read that? Focus. The joys of being a whiskey tuber and your camera having an autofocus. You want to focus. Focus. I do this all the time. Oh, there we go. Cappy's Fine Wine and Spirits. Single Barrel Select. Haven't tried it yet. It's completely unopened. It's on the floor because I have no room. I'm at that point in my life. I still have to promote the channel and promote people, promote the option, I guess. Well, the only way I can do it, because super chats are not a thing yet. Emphasis on yet, because we still have to climb the mountain that is the YouTube overlords demand that I have 1,000 subscribers before they get... I'm sure many of you have heard this, that you have to have 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, and then YouTube will allow you to give them money. Basically. Then you get to the point where YouTube will monetize you so they can throw ads up here of what I don't know. I have no idea what kind of advertisement would show up on this channel. I'm curious, but I have no idea. And then what was the other thing? Oh, yeah, super chats. Super chats are super easy. People just click the button, and the button actually glows. If you've been on other people's streams, every now and then it just glows at you. Do it. Spend the money. And then YouTube takes a cut of like 30%. This way, however, all your donations go directly to me and this channel. So there you go. The YouTube overlords can't touch that. Can't touch it. Now I got that song stuck in my head. Whatever. Just you. What's really funny, of course, with all these samples is all this Chattanooga stuff. I had no idea that Chattanooga had this level of options. Let me see what I can tell you about what's in here. Again, I haven't opened these yet because I don't want the temptation, really. Let's see. They have a rum finish. Is that a mead finish? Can't read all of it. Maple syrup. Apricot brandy finish. What? I was told that some of these are. And fig Amaro? Can't quite read that. But yeah, that's a whole variety of what the heck. Looking forward to all of those because they sound amazing. Whoa. Well, it's good to know. So up until the point where I'm monetized, I'm doing better than being monetized. I don't know if that's good or bad. Well, that's fine. You know, they're advertising to people. I mean, it's a thing. I'm not gonna lie. Scissor. Sounds amazing. I made it good. It's funny. Whoop. It's a mystery, and we won't know until we get to 1,000, and then I can feel weird about it because again, the whole option of it's like a workaround. You have the option of doing super chats, which are just convenient. That's it. It's just convenient for the person watching to push the button, and then they have a little pop up, and you need to give them the money, knowing that 30% is going straight to YouTube for the convenience. It's a convenience fee, basically. Whereas with PayPal, it's direct and much easier, I guess, for me. Granted, it will take you away from this, which is bad. YouTube no likey. The overlords want you to stay here and look at this and nothing else. Don't do anything else. Right? I mean, advertising is the thing. I actually studied graphic design when I was younger. God, what you 20 something? I was 25 maybe when I studied graphic design. There is a disturbing amount that goes into advertising. Psychology and all these little things that no one's thinking about unless you've studied it. I studied graphic design and advertisement, and I was like, this is messed up. I then stopped watching television around the same time. I don't think I watched TV before then, but yeah, learning that it's gone into the internet now and it's everywhere. It was a little scary. It's on Instagram. It's on Twitter. It's everywhere. It's on YouTube. I'm trying not to think about it, but it's always there. I love billboards are still a thing, and now they're animated. They're like giant GIFs, pretty much. Yeah. There's a little known fact that if you're on disability, like I am, they do not want you to make more than like $1,000-ish a month. That's what the government wants. Like you cannot make more than like 1,000-ish something a month. It changed. It used to be just 1,000. So legally speaking, if I were actually to make money off YouTube and monetization, I could lose any like stability income I get from disability because that pretty much pays for rent. That's pretty much all it pays for. But losing that would be bad. So I don't know how that would work. There's no way I could make the amount of money I would need to make for rent every month off of this. I don't think that's how it works. I'm pretty sure most of the people who do this, it's just for fun. I know on Whiskey Central's stream last night, that was bonkers. That was crazy. But that was for a good cause. That was for Scotch Trooper. My mind, my brains. Yes, rip to him. That was horrible news to hear about. Uh-oh. Thank you, Hot Butter Rolls. You are awesome. I hope to come back to your channel someday. That was a lot of fun. I did realize that on your stream was probably one of the longer streams I've ever done. I think I've only done one stream that was about that long a few months ago, and that was only because I think it's Bourbon Night wasn't doing their stream that night, so I just kept going for like 4 hours, 3 hours, something like that. Your streams are crazy long, and I cannot keep up. Basically, I only have so much energy, and I can only function for so long, and then it just kind of teeters out. And especially when drinking alcohol, because you guys have a much higher tolerance than I do. I think I had 4 or 5 drinks in 3 hours, and I was going, oh, hi. So tired. You guys are nuts. Thank you, Cheech. I'm going to check it now. It is. It is. That is actually a constant fear of mine is if the government at any point in time are like, you're not that disabled. We're not going to give you money anymore. Bye. Enjoy having to move out of your apartment that you've been in for 10 years. Scary stuff. But the weird thing is being on disability and having these issues that I have that kind of keep me away from people over the past year or so has been to my advantage, unfortunately. I don't have to go out. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to deal with people except for short amounts of time. I was long ago avoiding being near people at all. What is called social distancing, I called active avoidance. So I would always kind of stay like out of arm's reach of everybody I walked past on purpose. It's been great. It's like I've been prepping for this all my life. Not exactly wonderful. That is a good excuse, co-op. Scotch Trooper, yes. Did I say that? I don't remember. Ooh, I think I did. But yeah, that was awful to hear about. And lots of money was raised last night, and that was pretty amazing. And I think she did it through Super Chats and PayPal. But she also did a giveaway, which Hot Butter Rolls does that as well. As soon as I start to think about that, my brain just goes, don't you dare even think about trying anything like that. You will get so confused and mess up, and everything will go wrong. So that's where my brain's at. It's not great. I don't want to think I saved the day. It was just kind of panic mode, and that's kind of where that's just sitting under the surface all the time. So as soon as something goes wrong, I'm ready for it. Which, you'd think would be a good thing, but when your heightened anxiety is just like, something could go wrong. What could go wrong? Everything could go wrong. Constantly. It's a little draining, a little tiring. But that was fun. And it was mildly amusing when everything just cut out and suddenly it was like this. It's like, now I'm in control. That's all I can think about. Suddenly I'm in control. Okay. No, it did work. It got my attention. I have to, the PayPal on my phone does not bother to alert me of anything, and I don't know how I can fix that. I think it's because I have a lot of alert things disabled because I don't need to be bombarded by any other distractions on my phone. But, ugh. It does stand out. I mean, I don't want people doing that all the time because it'd be hard to read, technically. There you go. Connecting whiskey tubers. That's amazing. Holy crap. Oh, you guys are awesome. Well, there's a link here. Let me click on that. I will check that later. James, thank you. Whoever you are. No. Where did this song come from? God damn it. Oh, there we go. I thought I did that already. Not sure. I've connected a lot of things to Facebook, and I'm a little bothered by that. I get a little disturbed by the amount of things Facebook and Google know about me. James. I thought so. I'm so used to calling you Cheech. That's like, oh, who the heck is James? My middle name is James. My father's name is James, technically. Jim, as I call him. I don't call my dad Jim. I call my dad Dad. But his name is Jim. Or we call him Jim. He calls himself Jim. Good grief. What is this song stuck in my head now? Any of you know, let me know, because I don't know where that came from. I'll mess around with that later, because if I start looking at my phone, it's all over. But thank you for the donations. I have no idea what I'm going to do with them. I'll buy something, or I'll just put it into the channel fund, sir. And his father and his father. So I must have disrupted the line. It's James and James, and then it was Brian. Brian James. Close enough. Whoops. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, wait. Oh, I can put users in timeout and block users all too easily. I almost did a bad thing. Yes, sir. Ah, nice. I will look at that. I will, when I can, I will subscribe because that's a thing. Whiskey or food? I suggest whiskey. I mean, it's tempting. It always is tempting. But the problem at the moment is I have been, I don't want to say blessed. I hate hearing that. I'm blessed. No. I am very fortunate to be a part of the whiskey community on here because all of y'all are bonkers. And I love it. I love that people are so generous and giving with their time and their funds, especially when I'm in this kind of weird limbo, as I like to think of it, where it's like I'm not poor, I'm not broke, but I'm not working. And all I can focus on really is having whiskey and talking about whiskey and doing whiskey things, which is great. But I also plan to do a lot more with it as of last year. No, 2019. At the end of 2019, I was anticipating going to Kentucky, going to Texas, driving around the United States a little if my car will last. By the way, I've had it for like 10 years. 2007 model. I think I got it in 2008. Hopefully that'll stand up for some travel. But the idea was to go visit places and do like Instagram-y stuff and then maybe record stuff. Scott's down in a whiskey is life. Oh, you'll like this. Many YouTubers, whiskey tuber people have said whiskey is all about sharing. It's about community life and all that. But I realized that I could like twist it up with Star Trek stuff, especially DS9. What are they called? I just said whiskey is life and life is meant to be shared. That's the thing I said. But I took it from Victory is Life. And I forget what the second part is, but it was from DS9, and it was these weird aliens who were very keen on being angry and killing people. So it was a nice little twist. Can't remember what they're called now because brain no worky so good. If you watch DS9, you might know. They were addicted to something called the white. Victory is life was their slogan. So I thought whiskey is life. And it is. Water of life, as they like to call it. Ketracel white. That's right. I don't know who called it the white. If anyone calls it the white. Yeah, I'm getting to the point, Scotch Down Under, where I have watched the entirety of The Next Generation and DS9 and Voyager at least twice in the past year or two-ish. And I'm now coming up again to the ending of The Next Generation. And of course, I'm going to go right into Deep Space Nine again because I have a problem. And just general, I like watching those episodes. I skip a lot occasionally when it feels like a filler episode or something where I'm just like, I've seen this one too many times. It happens a lot. But for the most part, it's fine. And what's sad, kind of sad, is that I find I like Deep Space Nine almost a little more than The Next Generation. But I think that's just because I watched The Next Generation when I was so young. That started when I was barely a teenager, I think. I watched it with my parents a lot. It was glorious. But rewatching it, I'm starting to catch all the little weird things, like the outfits they wear. They had to do this all the time whenever they sat down or stood up. I start to see the little things, the trickles. And even The Next Generation, it's starting to just look so... It's a little dated, It seems like it wasn't that long ago, but I'm looking at all the technology they have, and I'm like, well, that's stuff we have now, kind of. Opening doors, they just do that when you go into a grocery store, pretty much. Jem'Hadar, yes, that's what they are. The Jem'Hadar would say victory is life, and I decided to take that. I'm like, whiskey is life, and life is meant to be shared. Sounds good to me. The Picard maneuver. Oh, yes, and this is a little dab into the history of my family, basically. My parents' wedding toast was live long and prosper. Part of why I've carried that tradition over to whenever I make whiskey videos, where I say live long and prosper, don't forget to be awesome, and Flancha. I just mix a whole bunch of things together. Star Trek, what is it? Nerdfighteria or Blog Brothers. That's these two behind me, if you didn't know. And then just my Irish heritage, which is just Sláinte. Lap, LLAP. I actually have a shirt with that. And if any of you are Star Trek nerds like I am, I actually have, let's see if I can do this. Leonard Nimoy, may he rest in peace. It's been 6 years now or something. I have that picture right there of him. If you can't see it, it's there, I promise. And it's autographed by him. I managed to get that, or before he passed, clearly. But it's a little bit of regret and kind of sadness in my mind because I think that was yesterday, I feel like, was his death anniversary. I don't know what to call that. That's a horrible word. But Memorial Day or what? I'm no good at this. I'm no good at talking and using words. By the way, happy end of the month. This is something that doesn't happen very often. We're on day 28 of this month, and now tomorrow it's going to be March. I am not ready for March. I am just getting used to the idea of what happened last March. 2015, when Leonard Nimoy passed away. As of yesterday. Ugh. Sad, but, the unfortunate truth of reality. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing. I feel like I was lucky to get that. And I have watched the original series. It's not easy to watch compared to what we have going on these days. Everything they're like all the Star Trek stuff they're standing in front of, it's just a bunch of lights and like switches and dials. It's straight up from, old sci-fi books. It's hard to look at, but it's how it all started, so I can't hate on it. And of course, Leonard Nimoy was pretty amazing in it. I watched something on YouTube about his life. I want to say last year. It was kind of how he got into stuff and how he did. It was mostly about his life. It was weird. He was doing a lot of stuff back then. He has a song about the hobbits, I think. I forget what it is, but it's pretty funny from what I remember, which again isn't much. It's on YouTube, I'm sure. Although I said hobbits and immediately thought the hobbits are going to the hobbits are going to Isengard or something like that. And then that song's gonna stuck in my head, which is bad. Don't listen to that song. It will be in your head forever. It's a bad idea. Oh, my eye. My eye's acting up. What the heck? The hobbits are heading to Isengard. That's true. I actually have a shirt. I can't really wear it anywhere, but I have a shirt of a photograph he did with like cherubs doing a dance. These very large women, and they're not clothed, but it's taken from a certain painting, I think, where it's all these cherubs doing a dance in the woods somewhere. He did amazing stuff in general, other than just Star Trek. You could look it up. I did kind of, but again, my memory is not great, so I forget things fairly easily. What else do we have? Bilbo Baggins. Oh, man. I don't think I ever watched that. I think I watched the video once, and it was very 70s, is the nice way to put it. That's really good. Very sweet. Unsurprisingly, it's got orange juice and grenadine in it. So, And then ginger ale. I did buy the 0 sugar ginger ale because I made the mistake of looking at how much sugar is in ginger ale. Don't do that. I'm putting plenty of sugar in it already, and my teeth are not great with sugar, so got to be careful. Got to see dentist soon. That's one of those little things that's been nagging at me for the past year is there's such craziness going on outside in the world, and I have to go see this guy who's literally going to put his hands in my mouth and mess around there while I'm breathing on him. That seems like it's such a weird thing to think about now. People had no problem with that whole process, and then the reality of how easy it is to get sick suddenly became a thing for everyone. Again, I feel like I was a little ahead of the times with that because I didn't like touching doors and that kind of thing and being too close to people. As I said, there's just this natural avoidance feeling when I'm around others and this kind of unnecessary fear of sickness. Like a severe, like I don't wipe stuff down and I don't get that kind of crazy. I'm fine with washing my hands when I get home nowadays. That's become a normal routine. I'm sure it's a normal routine for a lot of you now. And having disinfectant around all the time in your car and such. We live in strange times, and I am ready to get back to a time where I can think about going to a bar and just going to a bar or a restaurant, more likely. I find I'm one who likes to go to certain restaurants I'm familiar with where I know they have a good menu of drinks, I should say. There are at least 2 places nearby that have a huge amount of whiskey that I can try. And then there's a few others that are more local type places. Ow. That have some whiskey options. All I'm ever looking for really is if a bar has open 14, because that seems to be, that's like my little, what do I call that? I guess a whiskey mark of some sort where you know that they're at least trying to have a semi-decent selection of products back there. I see open 14. I'm like, I think it's open 14. My brain don't work so good. But there was a time not long ago. God, when did I do that? The beginning of January. The first thing I did was a new year. And I was like, all right, it's a new year. I just gotten the stimulus money. And I thought, all right, I'm going to treat myself to a lunch out. And I'm actually going to eat there. And I went as early as possible, so no one else would be there pretty much. I got myself a wonderful steak. And I got open 14. And the pour was like that. Like 4 to 6 ounces almost of straight up whiskey. It was glorious, but also I was a little terrified at the same time where I was like, I got to drive home. I'm glad I just ate a big ass meal, but whoa. It is. It's just something I don't know how or why it became that thing that it did. There was no conscious decision of like, this is going to be this bar has a decent selection whiskey, but that's kind of what it became. It's that or Redbreast. If I see that on the back shelf instead of Jameson, that's usually pretty good. And there are a couple restaurants, like I said, nearby that I like to go to that I liked to go to that have semi-decent selections of things I can try. Oftentimes I'll just get a cocktail of some sort. But again, if you're going to a restaurant and you get a cocktail, it's a little... Sometimes they're not really great bartenders. Sometimes it's just someone who's working the bar, not a bartender. There's a difference. And you can tell by how they make the drink, usually. One of the unfortunate memories I have from, I want to assume it's 2019, but it could have been early 2020. My eye is bothering me still. Early 2020, I think, I went to a local restaurant that I usually like going to. And there was someone behind the bar talking about how they just started working there. And that was right before everything went to hell. So I kind of felt bad for that person. Because I don't know if they kept their job or not. I haven't really gone back there to find out because I can't sit at the bar. It sucks. It's one of the things that I took for granted in my days. That granted, I didn't go out very often because again, minimal finances. But occasionally, and it was nice to get a whiskey and have a lunch or dinner at a familiar place. I like the idea of getting to know your bartender. That was always nice. And I had at least one at a nearby place that I would go to that I knew. But I haven't seen her in like a year because of how things are right now. I know no one wants to think about how things are right now. All of us would rather just have a drink and hang out and have a good time. But with my brain, the way it works, it's always kind of worrying about how things are at the moment. And the key thing I have to tell myself is all of this is temporary and all of it's a little weird. And thankfully, we all have plenty of whiskey to get us through it. And if anything, it's been a boon to the whiskey community online. Everyone's they have to find their own outlet, their social outlet now. And this is mine. So far, so good. It's working all right. I've been able to do Friday and Sunday streams for a few months now. It doesn't feel that way, but I definitely have been doing these for a considerable amount of time now. And I'm not good at doing that. For the record, there is a strong part of me that just is like, fuck it. No one's going to be there. No one's going to miss me. It's not a big deal. Ooh. It's a wonderful mentality I have there. Yes, knowing the bartender is pretty sweet. That's why I was a little confused when I had that open 14. It was I didn't see it happen, but I'm fairly certain that it was just one of the waitresses who poured it, and they had absolutely no clue how much you were supposed to pour into a glass, and it was a substantial amount, as I said. Watching the time, kind of 7 o'clock now. I got 1 hour to go until it's bourbon night begins. Thank you, Co-op Whiskey. I figure a few people might. So if nothing else, I don't want to disappoint anyone and give people, again, this is a good excuse for people to have a drink and have some kind of socialization of some sort. And it's the only kind of socialization I get these days, other than like talking to the grocery person for about 20 seconds or whatever. Or what else? The occasional time when we do go to a restaurant, which still tweaks me out a bit. Oh, there you go. I have to prefer my internet friends. I can understand that. I've realized I have more social connections and internet people that I know I'd consider, at least friendly with or friendish because of just this whole community thing. So it's been weird. It's weird to have that kind of connection with people because it's not what anyone's used to, but it's something that's slowly becoming the norm. And it's, the last year or so has contributed to that greatly, where even when I talk to like Whiskey Tribe stuff, there are people I see there all the time. There are people on the Discord, I'm there a lot suddenly now that they finally have one. I think it's been going for about a year-ish now. And you get involved with it. Like I'm certainly worried about the Wizard Academy and Crowded Barrel, and that's in Texas, nowhere near where I am. It's a place I've been to once, and yet because I'm slightly invested into it, literally, there is some worry about what's happening over there, down there. Yes, John, the new normal. The new normal. Uh-oh. Do tell. How is the wife? That's something I asked a friend of mine. One of the few friends I actually have from high school. Actually, I think the only friend I have from high school, now that I think about it. But he was the one I mentioned earlier who's doing the Galahad game. That's a mech game. But he lives in Missouri, and he's married, and he has a new child. Oh, gosh. Is the kid a year old yet? I know he had the child was born just before everything went crazy. And I think it was at the beginning of March. I'm going to have to ask him. I know he's not going to be online this week because I think he has in-laws over. You know how much fun that can be. I don't know how much fun that can be, but I know other people know how much fun that can be. So I'm not going to see him online. I think that's another thing about this is that I'm so used to doing online stuff. Like I've been connected to the internet since the internet began. So let's just say I've had some experience with the internet, at the very least, as it has mutated into what it is now. And especially with my friend that I'm speaking of, his name is Greg. Greg and I have kept in touch via the internet and being able to play like PC games online. I know one thing we did for the longest time was we played World of Warcraft like constantly for a number of years. I have teetered off of that recently. Not 100% by choice, but mostly because the game's changed a good deal and I can't afford it. That was the other thing. That's one of the games that's 10 years old, but you still have to pay for it each month. And as much as I like the franchise and I love kind of the story and the history of World of Warcraft, I can't do it anymore, man. It's a huge grind. It costs a lot of money. I can't. Maybe someday I'll go back, but we'll. Uh-oh. Okay. Check that off today. Didn't get stabbed by the wife. Booyah. It is a good day. It's one thing I'd be terrified about. Just pissing off the wife. That sounds terrible. Yum. I feel like it might need a little more ginger ale, but whatever. Hey, I can just add water, technically. It'd be the same thing. Oh, I guess the one real thing that I'm noticing while doing this is normally it's so easy to just talk about whiskey and what I'm doing here. But now that I have nothing to drink in front of me, I might just flounder sometimes where I'm just like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to entertain these people? What are you guys drinking? That's pretty much what I got right now. What I want to do, kind of, is open up some of these samples because I have no idea what are in these bubble wrap things. But I'll have to kind of hand it off to the audience because I know if I try to open these, even if I do it away from the mic, it's going to sound awful. It's going to be such a crinkly bubble wrappy noise, and I don't know how much that will freak people out who are just joining. Why does my eye have to bother me? Oh, I could sing. I always forget that. I shouldn't forget that. But I do. That's true, Scottstown. Another day survived is a win. As we all are well aware with what happened to Scotch Trooper, you know, nothing is guaranteed, unfortunately. But you know, I'm trying to drink as much whiskey as I can until that happens. So, yay. Whiskey is life and such. Although I do have to be careful because I have liver issues, sort of. Oh, gosh. Yeah, water. Water is good for that. I've thought about see, even when I think about Hot Burger Olza's stream, I realized how quickly I was drinking and how many pours I had. It was like, ugh, how do you guys do this? It was my thought. It's like, whoa. I do maybe 1 or 2 drinks per stream, or sometimes I do a flight. That's usually fun. Like I said, I'm looking forward to the Chattanooga stuff because I've never had any. And the fact that I have a bottle is absurd. I've never seen that stuff around here before. I don't even know if I can get it around here. But I believe it was from Tennessee. My brain didn't work. There was something about it. I got to check. God dang it. Gosh dang it, heck and shoot and darn. All those fun words that aren't curses because of YouTube overlords. I can say whatever I want on this channel, thankfully, because I said it's not for children. So there. It's not for adults strictly, but it's not for children. What was I doing? Damn it. Chattanooga. Clickety click, typety type. We're learning. Chattanooga whiskey. Where's it from? Chattanooga Whiskey Experimental Distillery, huh? That would explain some of the finishes they have. Blah, 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 blah. Chattanooga, Tennessee. I remembered something. I should get a sticker. This is the noise you would hear if I decided to open these. And it sounds awful. I don't want to do that. I am curious. I will open them at some point. But I know there's just going to be more temptations. Which why does my eye have to bug me? What did I do? Yeah. No, that doesn't help anything. 10.5 hours of drinking scotch. I don't know how you manage. And like I said, I saw your message. I was like, oh, I could do that, but I have to do a stream later. I'm not drinking. I don't want to be the boring guy who's not drinking. But I'm trying not to be boring right now. I'm trying to think of songs I can sing mostly. I have a list. But oddly enough, when I say I'm going to sing songs on my own channel, people start to bail. I don't know why. I think it's just people don't always want to be listening to others sing. I've noticed that even with people who are professional singers, people won't be on their channel watching them. And this is as close to live entertainment as you can get, so it's a little strange. I know there are a few people on on YouTube that I watch occasionally that do live streams while they sing. I get worried because I don't have a setup for that. Like I don't know how it sounds, I can't quite tell. But so far people have said it's fine. If I had any sense, I'd actually listen back to what I sing. That'd be the sensible thing to do. Ooh, I could get an Eagle Rare. Eagle Rare Maker's Mark 46. And I have Johnny Walker Black on here too, but that's just because I haven't had it in so long. And I honestly don't remember if I did a review of it. I don't remember. But a rolls of panicking. I don't know what's happening. I mean, I'm fine. Nothing's wrong. Ah, that I understand. I understand. I can talk about Star Trek for a long time, and I don't know why, but I guess a lot of it is because I've been watching it pretty much constantly for the past year because there's nowhere to go and not much to do. But I'm usually playing games. Actually, I should mention that when I'm watching it. So I have Netflix going, and then on this screen I have my games going. And for some reason, I can pay attention to both, but I don't know why. Double Black is where it's at. I've often wanted to do a comparison to that because what was it? My father and I bought, I think I still have it, and I'm pretty sure I showed this on stream once. We bought like a sample pack of Johnny Walker. So it was, gosh, what was it? The black, was it the black? No, the Johnny Walker Black, Gold, Platinum, and Blue. So it was those four lineup. I found out I seemed to like, actually I don't remember which it was. It was either the Gold or the Platinum. I liked that one best when we did a comparison of it, but I didn't do a video of it because at the time I was still doing my original videos, which if you've ever seen my original videos, same place, same little corner, very different kind of video because those videos I made with the intent of no one ever seeing them except me. Now the option is out there for people to see it, and it's not very entertaining, unsurprisingly. I never made those videos for entertainment. I made those just for my own personal, what are my thoughts on this whiskey, and also creaky chair, because I was getting into whiskey for the first time. I felt it was important to kind of keep a track of that, which I did. And you can see too, because that was the early on stuff. That was, oh gosh, what's it called? Advent Calendar, 2017, 2018? Not sure. There's Drinks by the Dram, and I was doing it because Whiskey Tribe did it. And I paid for it with a credit card. Don't do that. It's a bad idea. Worth it, only because I have that documented experience of me officially trying whiskeys for the first time. You also get to see me without the mustache, as terrifying as that might seem. Back in my baby face days. Funny story with the mustache thing. On my yearbook for high school, when I graduated, I made it a joke to not shave here and just there for like that picture. That came back to bite me pretty much once this thing decided to show itself. So as funny as it is to think back to high school when I thought it was a joke just to have a little bit of fuzz on my top lip. There we go. I look back at that now and thought I had no idea back then, and I never tried to grow it out at all. If only I could have been known as the gentleman from, the high school years. That'd have been weird. I had long hair then too. I don't think it would have worked. I just cut the long hair I had, last month, a month ago, 2 months ago? I will probably need a haircut again soon, and I don't want to do that because it was a nice experience. I went to a nice barbershop, but yikes. Going out anywhere is still terrifying. Oh, 51%. Hello. That catches my attention. If anything, I'm going to have to do a Johnny Walker Black sample thing. Blind flight? No, not blind flight. Flight, maybe. If I can get all of those samples again. I think it was $40, something like that. It was really stupidly cheap. I remember that. We bought it and we're like, this Johnny Walker Blue in here. Isn't that the stuff that goes for like $200? What? But again, I never did an actual whiskey tube video thing. That's why Johnny Walker Black is on my list of possible buys recently. Eagle Rare is on there just because I know I like it, thanks to the bottle being donated. So that was cool. The reason I don't buy it that often is because it's $35. And as I say in many streams, I always compare the price of the bottles to the price of Wild Turkey 101. I can get a bottle of Wild Turkey 101 for $25. So it's hard to beat. The only thing that beats that only a little is Evan Williams Bottled Bond, because I can get that for $15. And that is as bottom shelf as I can get without starting to feel very, very, very concerned about what I'm drinking. And, it becomes a mixer at that point. If we go any lower than that, I think. I know since It's Bourbon Night is going on in like 45 minutes, I will mention one of the videos they did. And I will pretend I'm going to put the link up there. I might. They did a video of, what was it? Black Box? Something like that. Boxed whiskey is what they reviewed. Boxed whiskey. Boxed wine? Yeah, they had boxed whiskey. It was about as good as you would expect, is what I'll say. So yeah, I watched them try that, and it was just... It's like the video I did with, what the heck was it? It was a bottle my brother gave to me, which I don't think I ever finished because it was really bad. And it was mostly grain alcohol. And I got that in, how was it? Was it 2018 or 2019? Oh, I don't remember. Anyway, I got a bottle then. Whiskey Samurai, cheers. This is the guy who sent me an abundance of whiskey recently. Hand-delivered it, we'll say. And I have yet to try it because it's... As I said, it's dry week for me. Everyone else here is drinking alcohol, possibly, or water. And I can't have any. And I guess it feels weird, as I was mentioning earlier. It's because whiskey is such a constant thing in my life these days, where I have to make YouTube videos. I'm used to doing streams with everyone. I'm not doing streams with everyone. I do streams where we have this kind of social interaction. Tea, mother's having tea. What kind of tea, Mom? Is it Earl Grey or something else? There you go, Co-op. I'm not alone. No. I know a lot of whiskey. I know a lot of people in the whiskey tribe do it. But what happens is there's always that. And what do I call this? A lot of people start to hate on the dry week, which I understand. I mean, no one wants to just stop drinking alcohol. It's like, why should I? I get that feeling. Oh, Red Rose, lovely. But I get a little concerned where it's like, if you can't just stop drinking, you might want to stop drinking for a little while just to see. Real very hot. Just to see. That's why I'm doing it. Again, it's mostly for health reasons. As I said, I have a fatty liver, so I have to be careful with that. I think Whiskey Central has that kind of problem too. I'm not 100% sure about that. But I think she mentioned that once, and it stuck with me because I have the same kind of problem. But it's kind of under control now. I know one of the stipulations they said is lose weight, which I did. Believe it or not, I used to be close to 200 pounds, and I managed to somehow drop a good amount of that over the past 2 years. I still don't know how exactly. I think a lot of it just had to do with being more active and going places and doing stuff and eating less. It's certain. If my brain starts doing certain things, I will forget to eat a lot, and I will get very hyper and start doing lots of things. The joys of being manic, as I like to call it, which is much better than being depressed, but it's also bad. That's one of the horrible things about my condition is you can feel great and feel like you're on top of the world and you can do no wrong. And then later on, you find out that there was all this, your brain just being wonky with you. And there was a lot you were not doing. I know a lot of the stuff that was my problems. I wouldn't care about anything. I would just keep doing stuff and leaving things all over the place. It was bad. My memory seems bad now, but even then, I would just nothing. I would not be able to focus on anything. I would bounce around and do one thing and another. It was lovely. Lovely. I have my hello glass. You probably can't read it. It says hello on there. Hello. There you go. Ridiculously long stream, no sleep, not getting stabbed. Perfect. Profit. That sounds like what it should be. 10.5-hour stream, no sleep, didn't get stabbed, profit. I don't know if that's true. That's how Whizzky Tube's supposed to work for me, I guess. It's profit. There's no profit. Everything, any money that's donated to the channel pretty much gets wrapped back into improving the channel and doing more with the channel. That being said, that has worked out to my favor a lot more than I thought it would with the donations I'm getting, especially if many of you here know the name Jason Busey. He will dumbfound me every time he shows up. Yeah, I don't know why I just said profit at the end there, but that's what I felt when I read that. Again, I don't know why. The brain works in mysterious ways. It's like a pinball machine, as I've said, just ding, 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 ding. It's great. Again, I can't focus on anything. Even today, and even this week, here's a key thing. Every time I do a dry week, I say, all right, I'm not drinking alcohol, so I'm definitely going to have more time to do stuff around my house. I can clean up, I can tidy up, I can make things look nice, get rid of some stuff, bring it to Savers or wherever and just donate it. Never happens. Never. Ever. I'm working on it, though. It's really hard. I have to put a lot of effort into focusing on doing one little task, unfortunately. It's no good, believe me. Right now, I have a little area where my coffee maker is, and I say coffee maker, but it is probably the most pretentious thing I own. It's something called a manual coffee maker, and it's this little, actually, you know what? I can look it up. It's a lot easier. I can look things up on the internet. I know that's a mistake because people are confused at me typing, but it's so much easier to show you a picture because I didn't even type in the second E there. Coffee maker number 3, I believe it is. And it is just, no, it's not number 3. It's a different one. It's a pour over coffee maker that I got many years ago. I haven't broken it yet, which is astounding because knowing me, I have a habit of destroying things by accident occasionally. Not often, but occasionally. I have yet to break Glencairn. And I feel like I'm definitely not going to break one right now, but you never know. I got some in the dishwasher. They have to be cleaned. I'm a little paranoid about that now. Who knows? Oh, here we go. Manual coffee maker number 4. Well, it's completely different. But again, it's the most pretentious coffee maker I have. And it takes a ridiculous amount of time to actually make this stuff. But it's become like a little ritual. And I think one of the things I did early on, there was a phase I went through. I didn't just land on whiskey instantly. I started getting slightly interested in coffee because there's, coffee stuff. You can nerd out hard on coffee, believe me. I don't, but I did get that fancy coffee maker and the pour over thing. And it's lovely. And I enjoy doing that little ritual in the morning. There was that. So I was getting interested in coffees. I got interested in sake for a while. Sake is pretty weird. Good stuff, though, if you get the right kind. Some of the best sake I've ever had was in Vegas when I went to a Japanese place. It was a restaurant. It was very fancy. It was called Nobu, I think. Amazing place. If you're ever in Vegas and you want to try some amazing Japanese cuisine, go to Nobu, have some of their sake because it's imported only for that restaurant, and it is glorious. I guess no, I don't. No. I have a square sake thing that I got once, but it wasn't from Vegas. Now, yes, that was awesome. I mean, the amount of donated stuff to that was incredible. I was dumbfounded. The part that kind of blew my mind was when it was ADHD whiskey, and the fact that people were willing to drop $400 for him to make a blend for them. I was just like, how do I get to that point in my life? You want me to mix some whiskey together for you? Sure, I can do that. Give me $400. Whew, that's a head check right there. I know ADHD Whiskey is fairly humble, so I have a feeling every time that happens to him, he's just as flummoxed and confused and grateful and just dumbfounded as I would be if that happened. I would not know how to handle that at all. Getting that much money from people for a good cause, for a donation, and all you have to do is mix some whiskey together. Granted, he's going to take it very seriously, and I know he likes to do mixes. That was nuts. Yeah, that's easy enough to do. So far, I've used them in the dishwasher, and I haven't had a problem. However, occasionally I do have that. I can feel like I can smell the cleaning solution on it if it's fairly recently that I got it out of the dishwasher. He is the world's top whiskey taster, so there's some stuff that comes with that he's going to have to get used to. I would never get used to that kind of thing, and I'm certainly happy to be the semi-okay palate that I am, although some people will say otherwise. But for me, it's just I'm where I'm at, and I don't want to get too crazy. I certainly, if anything, I feel like my palate needs more. There are plenty of fruits and vegetables out there that I've never tried, and probably places I've never been, and flowers that I've never smelled. Even different kinds of grains I've never really smelled. I still can't quite get corn. I know what corn tastes like. I've had plenty of popcorn in my days, but when people say, "What is the taste or smell of corn?" my brain goes, "Well, popcorn," and I kind of default to the worst kind of thing you can eat, which is what is it? High fructose corn syrup. I think it's made of corn. Not sure. Don't believe anything I say because it could not be true sometimes. That one I'm not sure of. I feel like I heard that somewhere, and I'm not sure if it's true. Nobu is awesome, yes. Hot butter rolls. I assume you've been there. Yeah, I went there with my mother, and it was a ridiculous experience. It was wonderful. Thank you, Mom, for taking us there because she paid for it. And it probably cost a lot of money. I don't quite remember because I didn't want to look at the check at the time. But I know I ordered a lot of fun stuff. Not the most interesting. One of the fun parts about going there was me attempting to use chopsticks. And as much as I'd like to feel like I can use chopsticks and, go to a Chinese restaurant or Japanese restaurant, they give you chopsticks. You're like, hey, no problem. No, I was forcing myself to eat the food with chopsticks, and my fingers and my brain just didn't want to work with that too easily. I did it. It was just kind of like pulling teeth sort of thing, just how the heck? I have a hard time holding a pencil. When I was younger, my teachers would tell me I have a very interesting way of holding a pencil, and I still do. I don't hold it quite right. I don't hold it the right way, but it also explains why my handwriting is terrible. So, remember handwriting? Remember cursive? I don't even know if they teach that in school anymore. I feel like they do, but they might not. I really don't know. I'm wondering what kind of sake I had at Nobu. I don't remember, but it was delicious. What was I saying before? Oh, yeah. Can't remember anything. So, got interested in coffee. That's why I have the fancy coffee maker over there. Got interested in sake. That's why I got to try a whole bunch of different sakes for a little while. Got into beer. I have, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have a number of empty beer bottles that are all just beers that I've sampled over the years. I should get rid of those because they're just collecting dust. But it's a nice little memory of when I was getting interested in different types of alcoholic beverages. Needless to say, the beer didn't stick. The only thing I found out about beers is that I prefer Guinness, which is, that's fine. I like Guinness, and I like, what else? Anyway, here's the thing. I'll try any kind of beer just like I'll try any kind of whiskey. But I know there are a couple beers out there that I'm just like, this is the beer I like. I will drink this. We did. We spent most of the day in Vegas trying to find one of the best Japanese spots and settled on Nobu because I think that was in Caesar's Palace. If memory serves, I'm really not sure. Lovely. I think I went to whiskey from beer. And I don't remember why, other than, oh, that's right. Here's another fun little fact. The reason I slipped into whiskey was mostly due to my dad, a book, and Fred Minnick, believe it or not. So there is a link down below for an audiobook called Whiskey Women, written by Fred Minnick. And I think he wrote it 10 years ago. I know I saw it on Instagram. He was talking about it recently. I commented. And my father did the audio recording for the book, and I did some of the editing. But anyway, I had to listen to the book to make sure there's nothing wrong with it, audio-wise. And yeah, there was a lot of talk about whiskeys and how women in history are part of a great deal of why whiskey still exists and why it kind of flourished in different ways. But Fred Minnick wrote the book. My dad recorded it. I had to listen to it. And my dad was particularly interested in something called Lafroig. If you know what that is, and I have a feeling you do, you'll know there is quite a bit of controversy and talk and just general opinions about Lafroig. So eventually we were able to track it down, and we tried it. It wasn't terrible. Thankfully, my dad and I were kind of the people who would try it, and we're like, oh, this is a new experience. This is what whiskey can be like. What other kind of whiskeys are there? And what are they like? That's pretty much how things started. And the key to it was that just around that time period, and this is what I was saying earlier, there are all these little things during the past 5 to 6 years of my life that just kind of clicked. So we got interested in whiskey through Fred Minnick and his book and the audiobook that we did. Again, link below if you want to listen to it. And that poor dog. The owner left, and you can probably hear it. I don't know. Maybe. He's not happy. I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, yeah. So around the time we tried Lafroig and wanted to get curious about whiskey, I just happened to be messing around on YouTube, came across the video on Reddit, I think, about, what was it? Modern Rogue. And Modern Rogue did a video where they were talking to Daniel Whittington at the Whiskey Vault. And that's how it began. Daniel Whittington, Modern Rogue, Whiskey Vault. And then I found that Whiskey Vault was making videos all the time about different whiskeys. That is basically how a lot of these bottles came to be behind me, is that there were different reviews that the Daniel and Rex did. That's how I got introduced to Redbreast 12. Redbreast 12 cast strength. Also, although something has happened recently with Redbreast cast strength, I don't know if they did it Redbreast small batch now, I think. So it's Redbreast small batch or Redbreast 12 small batch. It's still cast strength. I haven't tried it. I don't know if it's different. I'm mildly concerned, let's say, about seeing the cast strength and saying small batch on it. I don't quite know why, but it just bothers me, I guess, because I was so used to the box they had, and I still have it. I still have like the empty bottle in the box from before they did their brand change, before the Little Bird became a thing, and before they got the cast strength just saying small batch on it. And I don't know if it has an age statement on it. It might. Again, I haven't really looked at the box, but that was another thing I got into. And as I should say, while I'm thinking about it, next month is going to be, Irish Whiskey Month pretty much for every single whiskey channel on YouTube. Me too, because my mom was gracious enough to donate a couple bottles of Irish whiskey. And there are a couple over here that I've been meaning to get to that I haven't tried. I have a Tullamore Dew that's been sitting on my shelf for probably 2 years now. And I've never had it. Don't know why. MSRP. That's the word I was trying to figure out recently. I don't remember why. Yeah. Little things like that. Where I've seen the one that says Redbreast small batch on it, and it's fairly new. And when I saw it, the price just made me go, what? It was like $109 near me. But I know I can get it for less. I would just have to go farther away. But that's one of those little things I'm not certain of. Where I've seen it, I'm curious, and I'm just like, meh, I don't know. I'm not going to buy it anytime soon. So no worries. Maybe someday I'll have enough money to buy it, or someone will donate it because, again, that'd be crazy because $100. I know I can find it for less. That's what I should say. I think I looked this up recently and there's a Total Wine about an hour away. I believe they have it. I still have this open because I was looking at Rare Breed last time. I can get Rare Breed at Total Wine for $43. It looks like they have the Rare Breed Rye there too, which was $56. Again, I've had the Rare Breed Rye. Someone sent me a sample. It was good, but it wasn't, blowing my socks off or anything. Whoop. Oh, did they? I'll have to look into that. Where did this come from? My body lies over the ocean suddenly is in my brain. We don't know why. Red breast. Let's see what happens. That is not the... Okay, so I looked up red breast and I got wine. I'm not looking for wine. In the wrong department, apparently. What the hell? Oh, wait. Is it one word? It's not one word. It is one word. Okay. The only thing I see at Total Wine, oddly enough, is Redbreast 12, the usual, which is $47. And then I have Redbreast Cast Strength, which it says limited quantities, blah, 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 may vary. And it says $72. And since we're looking things up, show me the picture. Show me the picture. Okay, it's not. Oh, wait. Ribbit. Have it. Shibba. Okay. Okay. So it says Redbreast. Thankfully, there's a big picture of it here. Redbreast, single pot still, Irish whiskey, cast strength. And then underneath it, it says age 12 years, like in this weird font that's kind of stretched out. But it doesn't have a number. That's the thing customers are looking for. They're looking for the number, like the number, rather than it's written in tiny print underneath everything, age 12 years. Chippet is still matured in fine oak cask, product of Ireland. Okay. But it doesn't say small batch on this one. It is their new design, though, so I'll take it, And again, 70-something odd bucks. Still well outside my price range, but it'll be a nice thing to get for my birthday, maybe? I don't know. I'm undecided. My birthday last year was a little weird, so I feel like maybe the one coming up this year should be double special because last year was just not what you'd expect for turning 40. I had other plans, sort of. And I wanted to buy different bottles and that kind of thing and go to different places and that sort of stuff. But that was not an option last July, as many of you know. Steve Jackson, welcome. Hi. Enjoy dinner. Not around, huh? Well, that's why you should talk to other internet people who have whiskey channels and get a hand delivery, maybe. Or even like the great thing that I would hope to have happen with whiskey tube communities, finding people who are nearby. Like I know Whiskey Dick is in Massachusetts. I haven't talked to him, but I know he does stuff from Massachusetts. And of course, it's not like I could collab with him if I wanted to. Like I'd have to talk to him directly first, but he's the closest other whiskey tuber person that I know. And that would be neat. But again, not happening anytime soon. Not until a lot of vaccinations happen, to say the least. I think he's about an hour or two away. Ah, okay. Again, I just take that with a grain of salt. It's like, okay, do it. I mean, that would be like I do not know much about whiskey business in general, but I can see that being something that we want to do because that's happened with other distilleries before. I think, what was it? There was one not long ago where they got rid of the age statement and people freaked out for whatever reason. I don't even remember what it was. It's probably happened to a lot of bottles, but I had one in mind where they just remove the age statement and say small batch or something like that. And people freak out. Oh gosh, I can almost see the name of the whiskey in my head, and that's bothering me. What was it? It wasn't Lefroy. It wasn't anything like that. I think it was a Scotch. It could have been a bourbon. That's right. The Root. That sounds about right. It might have been Nom Creek, where they removed like the 12 or something, and people were like, "What? Ah!" is what people do when that happens. Could have been Elijah Craig too. Like I said, it's happened to numerous things, and it seems to be a fairly common practice for distilleries where they're like, let's just take away the age statement right now because we don't have as many of those as we used to. No one will mind. Yeah, I was either thinking of Knob Creek or Elijah Craig, probably. And it did happen a while ago. We're talking probably a number of years ago now, but in my brain, it didn't happen that long ago. It's very recent. It's fine. I'm stuck on thinking about Irish whiskey. As I was saying, wow, that one is a tangent. As I was saying, I have a number of Irish whiskeys for next month because of the whole whiskey tube trend that seems to happen where suddenly it's March and it's Irish month and everyone has to drink Irish whiskey. Blah. No problem there. Barndor, hello. Welcome. You're here. That's all that matters. You're here because you're here because you're here because you're here. That is a Vlogbrothers reference. Most people will not understand that. But I do, and that's all that matters. So Irish month is what we're calling it. I don't know what the other channels normally do. You'd think I would know because of last year. But again, last year was not your typical St. Patrick's Day thing. So I don't know. I know let's see, let's do the math. I have at least 3 to 4 bottles of Irish whiskey, which should easily last me next month. And the other key note here is that this week, for one, we're going to be in March tomorrow. Not ready. I'm not prepared, but it's going to happen. And that will be the first week. So I will not have a whiskey for the first week. I'll be doing some other kind of video for Wednesday. I still have no idea what it will be about. If you have options, put them in the chat or comment below if you're watching the replay. Let me know what you might want to see before then. I still am not sure what to do for a dry week thing because I did a why should you dry week last quarter when I was on a dry week. Oh my gosh. What? I think I know someone whose birthday is on St. Patrick's Day. Freaking Gabriel. An old friend of mine from high school who I'm kind of in touch with occasionally. I know he likes whiskey too. I don't know if he watches the channel. I don't think he does. Or I don't think he watches my streams. I will have to ask him about that. Maybe someday that would be that's an interesting thought I just had, is to have an old high school friend join me on a stream as we both sip on whiskey and talk about, BS from when we were in high school. Ooh, he had long hair then too. I think he's married now. I feel like he is. And I think he's living in Florida. Poor bastard. Not that there's anything wrong with Florida. Hell, we go to Florida for Disney World every now and then. It's lovely, normally. It's hot. And as I said earlier on Discord, I was somehow the thought of sunburn came up. And if you can't tell, if I go out into the sun for any length of time, turn into a freaking lobster if I'm not careful. So as much as I like Disney World and Universal Studios and Florida kind of stuff for that, I don't much care for the sunlight and the heat and the humidity and the random storms. The random storms I actually kind of like. That part I don't mind. The alligators are a little creepy. Or the crocodiles. They're large and they like to sit on the highway. Bourbon Baller, welcome to the show. We got about 15 minutes left, but you're here. We're all here. We're here because we're here. And it's lovely. And it's been a pleasure, actually, to be on stream tonight. Again, if you're just joining us or you're not certain what's going on, let me know what's in your glass, if anything. And it can be anything. Water. whiskey, especially. I'd like to know what whiskey you're having. What? Barndo, you're in Disney World. What are you doing in Disney World on your phone? Can confirm it. It's hot, yeah. I can only imagine. Again, the recent thoughts I've had are just, up where I am, it's still about, what is it right now? I can check. I changed my phone to Celsius because I don't know what to call it, but I guess I'll say a Celsius snob or something like that. So it's 4 degrees Celsius here, which to anyone in America means very little. To me, I have a general idea. I think it's around 4 degrees. That feels like it's around 30 something, maybe 40. That's my guess. I still haven't quite gotten a memory for what it translates to. Hey, what do you know? It's 39 degrees Fahrenheit right now, and it's only going to get colder. But for most of the week, it looks like it's going to be nice. Yeah, 40-ish degrees is perfectly fine for me. I can go out in a t-shirt. It'll be pretty cold, but I can go out there in a t-shirt. Barkeeper, hello. Welcome. Clicky click, do the thing. Yes, freedom units indeed. Unlike the rest of the world, we must speak in freedom units. Yeah, around 40 degrees to make it simple for everyone else. But I think it was as soon as I realized that the rest of the world was in Celsius, I was like, so I was raised doing the thing that if I went anywhere else on the planet and said, oh, it's 40 degrees Fahrenheit, everyone would look at me kind of funny. And yeah, how's that? I don't know when I started that either. Probably a year or two ago when I was just curious about switching it to Celsius. It was mostly so I could, like if I went to another country and I saw Celsius, I could translate it to Fahrenheit. That's the only reason I changed it on my phone, because it's the same everywhere else. I mean, I look at my weather app on my computer, it's Fahrenheit. What? A6. Ooh. Water is the dentist. Dentist. Words. Oh, yeah. I'm in Rhode Island, so right next door, closer to the water. So thankfully, Rhode Island doesn't get as much snow usually, but it is relatively chilly for most of this time of year. That's why it felt bizarre. And again, this is something that happened recently, that Texas got slammed by snow and everything just crumbled. I know they're not really set up for that, but it was, I guess, tragic because with snow in this area, it's like, oh no, snow, meh. But to a place like that where it's not quite the norm, usually not a thing, it is kind of amazing to see how everything could, like the cards just fall as soon as there's a little snow. And I remember thinking that thought when I was in Texas in 2019. I keep trying to say last year, but I saw some of those like highways they have in Texas where you're way the hell up off the ground. Those were terrifying to me because I was like, it snows or it gets icy and someone goes a little swervy on that kind of road and bye, you dead. Terrifying. My mother was the one driving, thankfully, but yeah, whoo, that stuff scared me. Oh, yeah, 50 degrees, man. That's like summer. You can go outside without a coat. In fact, I think I did that recently. I had to help my brother with driving him around a bit. He broke his leg, or he broke his ankle, I think, 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago, recently. So he's not quite up to driving yet, so I had to drive him around a little bit. And we went to a bunch of different places in the area. And it was like 50 degrees almost that day. I had to take my coat off because I was getting warm. It was lovely. Yes, I think that's what happened. Yeah, flyways. Ugh. Now, like I think we've gotten more snow this year than usual, I have to say. I think it snowed 4 or 5 times in the past, few months that it's been winter, but Usually it's not a problem, but I know I've had to shovel my car out at least 2 or 3 times lately. Not fun, but also not the end of all things, thankfully. Unlike in Texas, where it's just, no, that shouldn't have happened. It did. That's true. I mean, something like that. I don't remember what I've heard. What was it? It was like they drank beer because the water was kind of sketchy and beer was kind of like water. And they used to do that all the time. Everyone was kind of inebriated most of the time. What? 71 degrees is about my happy place. If it's like 70 degrees out, my windows are open. As long as it's not muggy. Mugginess is not a fun thing. And that does happen around here, unfortunately. Being so close to the water in Rhode Island, the weather, it can get steamy, to say the least. Oh, lovely. Hail. That sounds fun. I was amazed to see because, I'm so, I don't want to say invested, but I like to think I'm part of the whiskey tribe. And seeing all the cedar trees, I think they are, they just like that. They like fell apart. They didn't like break. They just kind of gave. They gave up as soon as some snow was on them and ice. Snow and ice is really what did it. The snow might have been okay, but the snow and the ice, no, not good. Oh, nice. I was wondering what that was. It looks like it's on a beach, but I can't tell. It could be snow. I'll take your word for it. The snow fort. Those are amazing. There you go. See, I don't know much about Connecticut. It's right next door, and I know nothing about it, other than let's see. Wow, my brain. That's a fun place to be. Hold on. Hold, please. Irene Tan's stores in Connecticut. There we go. Woo! She's the one who was on the Whiskey Tribe episode over a year ago. Oh, man, it's 2019. I actually went there and met Rex and Daniel. That doesn't seem like that long ago. And I haven't been there since. Well, no, I've been there. I saw Irene probably early 2020 sometime when it wasn't that bad out, but that was sketchy. And that was in Rhode Island. But I haven't been to her store since, and I know things have changed. And I feel bad that I haven't gone there in so long because part of the fun was going there and drinking whiskey. And I do that like once a week, but not anymore. What I wanted to do, again, part of the idea, is to go, like, people can find out more about Irene Tan and her barrel picks. I know maybe Hot Butter Rolls or a few others would be interested in some of the stuff she did. I think she's done Garrison Brothers recently and a couple others. So it'd be like specific barrel picks she did are supposedly really good. I know I sampled 1 or 2 of them in 2019, I think, and they were very good. But I know they cost a lot. That was the problem because, it is a barrel pick. She does own her own liquor store. She has to sell the product. She does have some people who have plenty of money coming in there, ready to buy whatever. But, usually I can afford the bottles. But if other people who are like hardcore whiskey folk who want that special barrel pick because they want to try it, there is the option of me getting a bottle from her for you and hand delivering it. But again, I don't even know what she's got going on these days because I haven't seen her in a year. That sounds awful. Ow. Hot Butter Rolls, guess what? If you watch that episode very closely, you might just see me creeping around. I won't say exactly when, but I do step off camera briefly because I didn't want to get into the shot. And you might be able to find me in the crowd when they're all doing a cheers. You won't find me, but I'm in there, I promise. She is. She's got the chain, man. She's got the tasting chain. And she does do charity events, or she did do charity events in Connecticut. One of the ones I went to, and I got to sample a bunch of stuff I would never be able to afford. We're talking extremely expensive whiskeys. And the funny thing is, I don't remember what they are, but I do remember that it was the early 2020 that I went there to do that special tasting. And unfortunately, this was just after my pet had died. And yeah, my mindset wasn't that great. So if some of those whiskeys were absolutely amazing, I would have no idea because let's just say my heart wasn't in it at the time. I did get to try them though, so that's the important part. But I'm also going, what the heck did I try? I don't remember. I just remember they were very expensive bottles that I couldn't buy. One of them was Japanese, and it was bizarre. It was good, but it was one of those moments where I tried it, and I was like, oh, good. I tried it, thankfully, and it wasn't great. It wasn't to my tastes. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't to my tastes. Oh, I'm thinking about drinking whiskey now. Oh, glorious. All right. Whew, that time flew. I will say now, because we're 5 to 8 o'clock, and It's Bourbon Night will be starting soon, as if I am somehow keeping viewers from watching their channel. Unlikely, but hey, we've been teetering around the 20 viewers mark, which is absolutely dumbfounding and amazing and wonderful, because that's usually where I like to have it in my head. It's like, oh, if we get to 20 people, I'm doing something right. But I know on It's Bourbon Night, they'll probably be in the 300s or 400s in a minute, which sounds terrifying to me, but we'll get there eventually, in theory. I'm so positive. There's immediately a part of me that's like, it's never going to happen. Don't try. But hey, to be clear, I never thought any of this would happen. I never thought I'd be getting free whiskey from people. I never thought I'd be getting donations. I have to keep reinforcing the you didn't think it would happen, but it did of life and of this whiskey tube stuff. So keep that in mind. It's Bourbon Night's going live, and I think they're doing, I only glanced at it, but I think they're doing like a Q&A kind of thing. I don't know if they got their questions or from Patreon or what. Again, too busy setting up this stream to figure out exactly what they're doing. Again, if you have any ideas, this is like something people would do if they had a Patreon. I have one. I don't tell anyone where it is because I don't want people giving me money when I can't do anything about it to give them back anything. Because apparently that's the thing with Patreon. But if you have any advice or ideas for what kind of video you would like to see me do on Wednesday, let me know within the next couple of days, either in the comments below or in chat now. I have to figure out where things are because I'm not sure what I want to do. I feel like I should do a whiskey or a video because it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday when I try to do a video is when I try to do a video. But I'm kind of unsure of what I should do since I've done the Why Should You Dry Week video already. I don't want to rehash the same thing. But we'll see. Maybe you can give me some ideas. Maybe I'll just figure something out. I think I had an idea of something in the back of my head, but no, I don't remember what the heck it is. Mike Franklin, good evening. We're coming to a close, but it's lovely to see you. It's lovely to see anyone who decides to show up. Irene is a guest. I think I left that idea out to her. I don't know if she'd be super interested, but that's an option. I could see if she wanted to be on here. I know she does her own kind of stuff occasionally. And she does have an Instagram. I think it's, oh man, I should know what it is. She does have an Instagram. I cannot remember what it is. Coffee videos. Yes, I can do a video on how I make my coffee. That would be amazing. I would have to record it with my phone, but that is an option now. So I can have people judge how I make my coffee. I think I've actually shown that on Instagram once or twice. I will, LaRoupe. At least I'll try. Yes. Whenever I see what's going on in the junkies room, part of me wants to go in and be part of that crowd, but there are so many people, and I feel like I'm just getting buried. And, it'd be nice to be on their channel someday. But again, that'd be weird. Anything would be weird these days. Irish tea samples. No, I don't need Irish tea samples. Yeah, well, I can talk to her. I can get in touch with her. Yeah, show you her island. I can show you Ocean Drive. Whoa. Libation exploration. I do a pour over method. I linked the coffee thing I make up above somewhere, but it's probably gone by now. Look up a manual coffee maker, and I think I use number 4, if you know what that is. I am going to call it. I don't want to. There's still 20-something odd people in here. But if you want to still chat and hang out and maybe like give It's Bourbon Night a nudge to have me on a guest someday. It's not going to happen, but it might. I will be going over to their channel and watching them do stuff now. So please join me there. Remember, I do videos on Wednesday, and I stream on Friday and Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully you'll come back. I would love to see you all again when I'm actually drinking whiskey. We have a lovely time. And as always, live long and prosper. Don't forget to be awesome. And it feels weird to drink this, but it's not you. Hopata.